You are standing in a meeting room. Someone asks a simple question. Everyone else raises their hand the same way. You know the answer is wrong. You raise your hand anyway. This has happened to you more times than you realize. And the reason isn't weakness, it's older than language itself. In 1951, a psychologist named Solomon Asch sat a group of college students around a table. He showed them a line on a card, then he showed them three more lines and asked which one matched. The answer was obvious, almost impossible to get wrong. But there was a catch. Every other person at the table was an actor, and one by one they all gave the same wrong answer out loud. Then it was the real subject's turn. Something strange happened in that room. About one-third of the time, the subject agreed with the group. They said the wrong line matched, not because the eyes had failed them. Their eyes were fine, something else had taken over. Afterward, Ash interviewed them. Some said they genuinely started to doubt what they saw. Others admitted they saw the truth clearly but couldn't bring themselves to say it out loud. They didn't want to be the one who stood apart. Think about that for a second. A room full of strangers said something false, and a third of the time, a rational adult chose the group's answer over their own eyes. Why would a healthy brain do that? To understand it, you have to go back, not to the 1950s. Further, 200,000 years further, to a small group of humans walking across an open plain. There was no hospital nearby, no police, no internet to check facts. There was only the group. And if the group moved left and you moved right, you were alone. Alone meant exposed. Exposed meant dead, more often than not. Your ancestors who instinctively stayed aligned with the group survived long enough to have children. The ones who confidently walked off on their own, certain they were right, often didn't. Over hundreds of thousands of years, this shaped something deep in the human brain. A reflex wired in before you were ever born. Agreement kept you alive. Disagreement could get you killed. This reflex didn't disappear when humans built cities and courtrooms and comment sessions. It just changed its outfit. In 2005, neuroscientist Gregory Burns ran a version of Ash experiment again, but this time inside a brain scanner. Subjects were shown shapes and asked to judge them, again surrounded by people secretly giving false answers. When people conformed to the group's wrong answer, the brain activity wasn't coming from the areas linked to conscious decision making. It was coming from the areas that process what you actually see. In other words, for some people, the group didn't just change their answer, it changed their perception. Their eyes and brain quietly rewrote reality to match the crowd. That should stop you for a second. You like to think of your eyes as a camera, recording the world exactly as, but your brain isn't a camera. It's a prediction machine to keep you inside the safety of the group, even if that means editing what you see. Here's where it gets stranger, the kind of person mattered too. When Burns ran the experiment and the subject disagreed with the group, staying with their own honest answer, brain scans showed activity spike in the amygdala, the same region that lights up during physical fear. Standing apart from the group didn't just feel uncomfortable to the ancient parts of your brain. It registered as danger, the same danger as a predator in the grass. Your brain still thinks disagreement might get you killed. That single fact rewrites a lot of modern life. Think about the last time you didn't speak up in a meeting, even though you disagreed. Think about the outfit you didn't wear, the opinion you didn't pose, the question you didn't ask in a lecture hall full of people. None of that was really about the outfit or the opinion or the question. It was about a separation from the group is the most dangerous thing a human can do. But conformity isn't only fear. There's a second force working alongside it. Psychologist Muzaffar Sharif ran an experiment years before Ash using a simple optical illusion, a stationary point of light that appears to move in a dark room. When people judged the light alone, their estimates were all over the place. But once they judged it in a group and heard others' answers, their estimates converged. And here's the part that matters. Once they left the group and judged the light alone again, they still kept the group's answer. Not because they felt watched, because they now genuinely believed it. The group hadn't just changed what people said, it had changed what they believed to be true long after the group was gone. This is why propaganda works. It's why trends spread faster than facts. It's why a false rumor at school can feel more real than what you saw with your own eyes. Once enough people repeat it, you are not simply agreeing with the crowd to avoid conflict. Part of you is quietly absorbing the crowd's version of reality as your own. A prehistoric human who conformed too little would question every warning shouted by the group. Is that rustling in the grass really a lion? Is that berry really poisonous? A person who insisted on personally verifying every piece of shared knowledge would be dead within a season. Conformity was a shortcut, a survival hack that let humans absorb the accumulated knowledge of the group instantly without testing it themselves. The same mental wiring that made a third of Ash as subjects deny the evidence of their own eyes is the exact same wiring that let your ancestors trust the group's warning about which plants were poisonous without eating one first. It's the same reflex running in a modern room instead of an ancient field. That's the part almost nobody tells you. So the question isn't really why do you conform? The question is why wouldn't you? Your brain was never built to find truth in isolation. It was built to survive inside a group. Modern life is full of rooms where the group is wrong and your eyes are right. Meetings where bad ideas get repeated until they sound true. Feeds where the loudest opinion feels like the popular one even when it isn't. Crowds online that can manufacture the same false consensus. Ash built with a handful of actors and a folding table. Knowing this doesn't switch off the reflex. The amygdala doesn't read psychology papers, but it changes what that tightening feeling in your chest actually means the next time you disagree with everyone else in the room. It isn't a sign that you're wrong, it's a 200,000-year-old alarm going off for a danger that mostly doesn't exist anymore.